salivary nucleus and the pyramid. So you know this nerve has to be hypoglossal. Coming out through the pyramid is all. Okay, and now quite well defined here, the medial lemniscus, very large pathway. And then above it, the spinal tract. I don't know if it's above or what that is, but anyway. Check the spinal tract, and then up here, the MLF. And again, well defined here, the hypoglossal nucleus, the solitary tract and nucleus here, and in between is the dorsal motor nucleus of the vagus. So we have 12, 10, and then the solitary nucleus and tract out here. Maybe better to see here. Hypoglossal, dorsal motor nucleus of the vagus nerve, and the solitary tract and nucleus. And so actually this nerve here is the vagus nerve, coming all the way in here to the dorsal motor nucleus of the vagus. Okay, now this area back here sometimes referred to as the dog ears. This is the inferior cerebellar peduncle. Remember we drew out the superior, middle, inferior cerebellar peduncles, and through which pathways either going in or out. And the major function here, or pathways that are traveling through the inferior cerebellar peduncle, are coming from the spinal cord. Okay, the spinal cord communicates with the cerebellum through the inferior cerebellar peduncle. And the unique structure here, just medial to it, are these little black dots here. This is a very important pathway. We'll talk about this a lot next year. That is called the lateral vestibulospinal tract. Okay, it's going from the lateral vestibular nucleus to the spinal cord. And really, we've only made a big deal of one upper motor neuron pathway so far in this course, and that is the corticospinal tract. But there are lots of upper motor neuron pathways. This is another one, the lateral vestibulospinal tract, and this has to do with extension, straightening your arms and legs. Clinically, it's really important, as we'll discuss much more next year. But the lateral vestibulospinal tract is the pathway here. The nucleus is the white area in between. And that's the inferior vestibular nucleus. Okay, so we always see the pathway and the nucleus right next to each other here. Okay, now other areas just become less distinct here. For example, this is the spinal trigeminal nucleus. But it just becomes much less obvious and kind of goes away here. You can go a little bit further. So it's very obvious nucleus further away. And again, we still have these other pathways like the spinal thalamic tract out here, but don't worry about it. It would be very hard to have you say whether it's here or here. So I just wanted you to know that it's magically out in this area, but I won't ask you about it. Okay, now a space back here is the fourth ventricle. Remember, that's the lower part of the ventricular system between the medulla, lower pons, and the cerebellum. And so this is choroid plexus.